Hello, and welcome to the Capital Area Food Bank recipe video library. Today we will be making one of my favorite recipes. It is our fresh eggplant pizza rounds. This is an easy way to eat your veggies while also having it taste like pizza. What a great combination. So let's get started. Let me tell you about what we'll have in our eggplant pizzas today. We are going to have eggplant. You could get one medium-sized at my grocery store today. They only had these smaller ones, so I got two. We have half a cup of low sodium pizza sauce. I just got a can of it. You can get a can, you can get a jar, just making sure it's low sodium. I have half a cup of mozzarella shredded cheese. And I have 1 tablespoon of oil as well. First, let's get started with cutting our eggplant. And we can eat all of the eggplant, except I wouldn't recommend eating this green part up here. So the first thing we are actually going to do is cut those off with both our eggplants. And again, since mine are smaller, I'm using 2. If you have a bigger eggplant, you can just use 1. So as a reminder, our knife skills, we want to make sure our fingers are always tucked under, and we use our knife from tip to tail, just like that. So let's start this and cut off the top of our eggplant, and we're going to do the same with our second eggplant. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut our eggplant into these little slices. So about 1/2 inch thick. So just like that. So we are going to cut our eggplant into 1/2 inch thick slices. At the end of this, we want to get about 12 slices. And I'm going to cut as much as the bottom as I can, and I'm going to move over to my second eggplant. And as you see, this is more than 12, but these are smaller. So if you have a bigger eggplant, you'll see that some of your slices might be up to this big or even bigger. So it really depends on the eggplant you get and what size slices you are able to get. Now that we have our eggplant, I'm going to move this to one side, and I'm going to take the tray that I will be roasting my eggplant on over here. What we need to do is we need to oil both sides of our eggplant and then put it on the tray. So I have my 1 tablespoon of oil here, and this is where the brush comes in handy. Again, if you don't have a brush, you can just use a spoon and it'll work the same way. And I am just going to brush one side, place it face down, and brush the other side. And I'm going to continue to do this until all of my eggplants are covered in oil on both sides. And there we have it. The last oil is brushed onto our last eggplant. Now that our eggplants are all oiled, we are going to put them in our oven, which is preheated to 350 degrees for 15 minutes total, turning halfway through. So that means in about 7.5 minutes, I'm going to come back and we're going to check on ours together and flip them over so that both sides can get equally roasted, and we want them to get a little brown. So I'm going to stick this in the oven, and then we're going to come back in about 7.5 minutes and see what they look like. Okay, we'll see you in 7.5 minutes. Okay, it's been about 7.5 minutes, so let's check on our eggplant pizzas and see how they're doing. You can see they've started to brown on the top, and they are sizzling. I don't know if you can see the smoke. I wish you could. So what we're going to do is we are going to flip all of them to make sure that they are being cooked evenly. Okay, so now that we've flipped them all, we are going to put them back into the oven for another 7.5 minutes until they are browned on both sides. So I'll see you back in another 7.5 minutes. Okay, it's been about 7.5 minutes, so let's go check on our eggplants. Ooh, look at them. They are looking delicious. They smell good too. I love the smell of eggplant. We don't even have any of the sauces or anything on yet. So we can know they're done when they're nice and squishy too. So think about if you wanted to take a bite of this, you wouldn't want a hard eggplant. So these are nice and cooked. They are getting browned on this side. So I'm gonna flip them all one more time. Perfect. So now it's time and we're gonna top these pizzas. So we're gonna make these eggplant rounds into an eggplant pizza. So to begin, we are going to take our tomato sauce and we're gonna just apply an even layer on there. If you like more sauce, feel free to add more. If you like less, feel free to put less. As you see, they're all topped with sauce. And this doesn't have to be it. If you want to put toppings on your eggplant pizzas, feel free to add any veggies or anything else you typically put on a pizza that you could just add right on top of the sauce. And then the last thing we're going to do is we are going to sprinkle with our mozzarella cheese. And as I said before, what a great way to get kids involved in the kitchen. Sprinkling the cheese, adding the sauce, the eggplant and the sauce together smells so delicious. How yummy did those look? So we're gonna put them back in the oven for about 5 more minutes. Really what we wanna do now, since the eggplant is cooked, we just want the cheese to melt and we want it all to taste delicious and like a real pizza. So let's put this back in for 5 more minutes and then we'll take it out and then they will be delicious and ready to eat. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, it's been the last 5 minutes, so let's go check on our eggplant pizzas. Oh my goodness. Wow, if you could only smell how delicious these smell. They really smell like a combination of eggplant parm and just a normal pizza. And that's kind of the taste you'll get. These are, again, what I said, one of my favorite recipes. Easy to make. What a great way to eat your vegetables as well. And who doesn't like anything with sauce and cheese on it? So if you like this recipe and these look so delicious that you want to make this at home, check out the link below. And you can find this recipe along with a handful of other recipes we have at the Capital Area Food Bank website. Get cooking. Thank you for coming.